Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Liao. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in today's show, China City volunteers traveled to Da'an City, Jilin Province to meet impoverished students. We meet children's bookstore owner Xiao Wenfu, who is giving kids a place to embrace the world of books. And we go to a Yangming Home for the Disabled to see how the facility is helping mentally challenged Agwo become independent. We kick off the show in Taiwan. Following the earthquake, many areas in Nantou County were hard hit, with some schools severely damaged. Reconstructed following the 9/21 earthquake, the Lugu Junior High School did not withstand the tremor. However, the nearby Lugu Elementary School, which was reconstructed by Tzu in the aftermath of the 9/21 strong quake, remains standing.
In the moment the earthquake struck, boulders tumbled down the mountainside, a sight fraught with danger. Employees of a local gas station in Xinyi Township's Mingde village captured the horrific moment.
基本上本来是很完整的，然后就一直就落石，就土石流那个就砰就对啊。
In Xinyi Township, the magnitude of the tremor jolted a water tower to the ground, causing an instant outburst of water which swept a woman to the ground. The woman sustained several injuries and a bone fracture in her hand. Moving to Shuili Township, the ceiling boards inside this firefighter's restroom and the stereo speakers were smashed to the ground. In the town of Puli, this building's pillar shows large visible cracks on its exterior wall, and inside, a long crack can be seen across this wall. A boy who was on the 7th floor was left shaken by the quake.
The ground was shaking left, right, up and down, and there was no time to react.
Many casualties and incidents subsequent to the earthquake were reported in Nantou County. As there is still a possibility of landslides and rockfalls, members of the public are urged to stay away from mountain areas to prevent further casualties. This 5-story tall clock tower, which has now been sealed off by the school, is showing signs of leaning and faces possible collapse. On the other side, the floors of this 3-story building were shifted upwards as a result of falling objects. Although Lugu Junior High School was reconstructed after 9/21, it did not escape this latest mishap. However, the nearby Lugu Elementary School did not sustain any damage and remained intact.
No structure was damaged. It was mainly the bookshelves and water dispensers that fell over.
The 9/21 earthquake destroyed much of Lugu Elementary School. However, under the assistance of Tzu Project Hope, the school was reconstructed. Now, years later, the solid structure still remains intact, providing the students with a safe and comfortable environment to study in.
To give underprivileged students a chance to continue schooling, China City volunteers traveled to Da'an City, Jilin Province for the first time to carry out the initial selection process for the upcoming scholarship distribution.
From Changchun to Da'an, it is around 223 kilometers. However, volunteers make the trip happily, as they know the importance of the work that awaits them in Da'an. On this particular visit, volunteers are visiting the homes of potential scholarship recipients to get a better sense of their living conditions. This family is deep in debt and has been forced to live with relatives. For them, their child's tuition is an immense burden.
You said that we don't know each other, but we have come. Try to be a bit more optimistic. After all, out of so many people, we have come to know each other. That is fate.
We are here to deliver love and help. In the future, you can help others as well.
Next, volunteers visit a family who is doing everything they can to ensure that their child can continue her schooling.
She doesn't partake in any after-school tutoring as we don't have the money. And yes, we have considered about having her drop out of school. We just cannot afford it, but she loves studying and we are afraid she might be very upset.
Da'an No. 1 Junior High School is the main educational institution here in the city. Tzu Scholarship Program has earned them the commendation of the city's education director.
In the previous visit to Tzu University, I was so impressed by what I saw. Everything is handled with such care and attention. How they approach education left a deep impression on me.
If we were to come earlier, maybe there won't be as many children forced to drop out. There are many students that have been forced to discontinue their schooling.
Thanks to Tzu's help, Both now and in the future, these children can continue with their studies, assuring them and their families of a brighter future.
In Johor Bahru, Malaysia, we meet Filial Piety Award recipient Yo Junkai, who has been helping his mother make ends meet since his father suffered a stroke. Thanks to Tzu Chi's financial assistance, Yo can continue his schooling free from worries.
Tzu Chi's New Shoot Scholarship Program provides hardworking yet economically disadvantaged children a way to continue their schooling. In Johor Bahru, Malaysia, there are 61 recipients this year.
Thank you, Tzu Chi, for giving me the opportunity to continue smoothly on my path of schooling.
He has such a compassionate and filial heart. I hope Junkai and his family can live a long and prosperous life. 13-year-old Yo Junkai is this year's scholarship recipient for filial piety. Mature beyond his age, to help relieve his family's financial burden, Yo sells pudding at a night market.
No. I mostly finish my work at school. I help to make ends meet for my family.
So when I have this son, very, very comforted because he's very filial, very close to me. Hopefully one day I don't need to make him suffer with me, go out and sell.
The scholarship aid isn't just about providing financial assistance on the path of education, but also teaching students about gratitude and cherishing their blessings.
Also in Malaysia, the Penang Jing Si Hall holds tea ceremony and flower arrangement classes on a regular basis. For many new volunteers, the classes not only help them understand Tzu Chi's ideals, but also helps cultivate their spirituality.
At a floral design class in Penang's Jing Si Hall, students work with flowers and plants in silence while reflecting upon themselves.
I told the flower that I'm grateful to work with it, and I hope to be able to present it in a beautiful way later on. At that moment, I was at peace.
The students say when they are upset, their designs will become a mess, showing how their work is just a reflection of the inner self. Through arranging gabaras and palm leaves, they also learn that on the road of life, they must learn to work with other people.
The gerbera was proudly standing on its own over there. It didn't have too many leaves. At first, I wondered what kind of flower it was. Now, accompanied by this foliage, it looks different.
Meanwhile, at the tea ceremony class, students learn to foster spirituality and atone for their mistakes.
I have changed quite a lot, such as my temper. When dealing with family members, the way I talk now is different. Through making tea, step by step, you will be transformed.
It depends on how we look at things. Like when we drink a warm cup of tea, we feel very happy and warm inside. So we can remember such feelings when dealing with other things in life.
A good cup of tea can also be shared with the one you love, which may also inspire them. Tea ceremony is a truly beneficial art.
In our next report, we go to New Taipei City's Luzhou district to meet Xiao Wenfu. Xiao comes from an underprivileged family and was once illiterate. To make sure no children suffered the same fate, he decided to open a children's bookstore. Despite making no profit for the past 13 years, Xiao insists on staying in business so children can have a place to let their imagination run wild. Who says you need to be quiet when you're in a bookstore? In Luzhou District, New Taipei City, there is a very special bookstore that is always filled with children's laughter. This is Xiao Wenfu, who was once illiterate. To make sure all children can have the chance to embrace the world of books, he decided to open a bookstore that is filled with children's storybooks.
I was once illiterate. After going through night school, high school, university, and grade school, I realized that it is very important to receive a good education.
发现读书很重要。凤梨好不好吃啊？好吃。酸酸的，甜甜的，对不对？本来是想办读书会。
At first, I only wanted to host a reading club, but I couldn't find a place to host the event. Later, my family and I decided to open a bookstore. Originally, we only planned to open a small shop that has an office and a reading area.
是，当时的构想是这样想。
With these concepts in mind, a non-profit book club was established in Xiao's bookstore. This is Chen Shufen, who joined the book club 13 years ago with her eldest son. Even now, she still visits the bookstore every week, not only with her eldest son, but also her third child.
I think this is the power of a parent-child reading club. Moms need friends and children too. Although reading stories seems like an easy task, children can actually learn valuable lessons through listening, because with fewer children at home, parents tend to be overprotective.
搞不好就一个两个孩子。听我讲故事的时候
After listening to the stories, many children will want to let their imagination run wild. Some children asked me if they could draw on the ceiling board, and I said yes. When they finish drawing on the ceiling board, I will put them back on the ceiling.
13 years have passed since Xiao Wenfu first opened the bookstore, and the ceilings are not filled with children's creativity. However, in reality, Xiao's bookstore has lost more than $170,000 over the past 13 years.
很多人都
I've been to many meetings in Taipei in the past, and everyone told me that I need to close down the bookstore, or else I will keep on losing money.
你要停止停损点，就是要关店。
Although Xiao Wenfu makes no profit from selling children's storybooks, he insists on running the business almost all year around. He says keeping the bookstore open is his way of doing good deeds.
我很害怕，
I was afraid that there was no meaning to my future, so I have insisted on studying and helping those in greater need.
最重要的两件大事。
With this idea, despite the bookstore losing $17,000 to $20,000 per year, Xiao Wenfu insists on staying in business for the sake of children everywhere. For those who have had a stroke, rehab is often a long and torturous journey, with many patients giving up halfway. To help, doctors at the Guanshan Tijie Hospital Rehab Clinic have put together a program that is fun and interesting in an effort to keep patients on the path to recovery.
Word games get these rehab patients on the edge of their seats. This simple game is among the many that doctors of the rehab clinic at Guanshan Tijie Hospital have put together as a way to make long-term rehab easier and more accessible for patients.
I hope that everyone can learn to relax and have fun. I will definitely go through with my rehab until I can stand once again.
Simple games such as this help patients move and exercise, and add a bit of fun and color to what is often an arduous journey back to health and mobility.
Now at home, she constantly wants to go for a walk.
Over the past 6 years, these 19 patients have met regularly for their rehab sessions at a venue provided by Xu Maorong, also undergoing rehab.
是我希望
In this space, I hope that all of us patients can gather together and find happiness.
懂得
Working together and supporting each other through the years. Now, with the unique support of the staff at the Tijie Rehab Clinic, these patients are ensured of reaching the finishing line in their rehab.
As Dragon Boat Festival is just around the corner, dietitians and Chinese medicine doctors of the Daling Tijie Hospital created a healthy version of the glutinous rice dumpling to help members of the public enjoy a healthy holiday.
Goji berries and golden fruits are common ingredients to make herbal soups. but they can be used to make healthy 粽子 as well. Prior to Dragon Ball Festival, Dalian City Hospital's dietitian is here to teach members of the public how to make healthy 粽子.
我们主要的部分是用补充益气汤来做底，那额外我们再添加
We
一
use
些，
energy revitalizing soup as the base and add nutmeg to enhance its aroma. This healthy 粽子 helps facilitate our appetite and relieve symptoms like headaches or dizziness when we stay in an air-conditioned room all day long.
The healthy 粽子 made from golden fruits, lotus seeds and koik seeds can also help pass excess heat and moisture in our body. However, dietitians still advise eating no more than 1 rice dumpling a day.
Chef Zheng Yanji, also known to most Taiwanese as Chef Aji, recently paid a visit to Hualien's Jingsi Hall, where he spoke to the general public on the importance of filial piety. The chef also took the opportunity to teach everyone on how to cook delicious vegetarian food.
With a steady hand and a sense of humor that has the audience in tears, renowned chef Aji shows the audience how to make simple and nutritious dishes as a way to express filial piety to one's elders.
His ideas and ideals were an inspiration for me. Today he showed us how to make a special rice dish, as well as how to express our filial piety through it.
With filial piety a running theme throughout his talk, the chef shares his life story to 2 groups of audiences here at Hualien's Jingsi Hall.
Filial piety is at the center of it all. Without it, once you enter the workforce, your relationships with your co-workers and friends will never be as open as it could be.
Chef Aji shares with the audience the hard work that eventually propelled him to the position of head chef at one of Taiwan's largest hotels, as well as the challenges from which he cultivated an attitude of thankfulness and sincerity. Not a pen is idle as everyone writes down the wisdom being spoken today.
He talked about the 3 forms of faithfulness. One was to be faithful to your job. The other was to be faithful to oneself, to be faithful and steadfast in your work. It was teaching that we can apply to our own work environments.
Aji hopes that young people can learn to bravely face the challenges they might meet, to be open to learning new things, and to have a right outlook in life. Doing so, their lives will certainly be ones full of blessings.
An automated external defibrillator, or AED, is a life-saving equipment. It is a portable electronic device that a layperson can use to help a person suffering from a cardiac arrest. If a person suffers from a heart attack, by using the AED within 1 minute of the attack, the chance of resuscitation is at 90%. Earlier this year, Mr. Ling from New Taipei City was out biking when he suddenly suffered a heart attack. It was the use of a combination of AED and CPR that saved his life.
Full of energy and speaking clearly, it's hard to imagine that earlier this year, 65-year-old Mr. Lin had a heart attack and fainted by the side of the road. With the help of the automated external defibrillator and cardiopulmonary resuscitation procedures, Mr. Lin was brought back from the brink of death.
During the rescue effort, besides CPR, they also used an AED on me. Later, I realized I owe my life to these paramedics.
This is an automated external defibrillator, a simple-to-operate device, which when used properly can save lives. First, turn on the power and connect the electropads to the chest and stomach region. Next, plug in the cord to the device, then wait for the voice command to give instructions to shock, making sure no one is touching the patient while waiting for the reading. After the all clear, continue to do CPR on patient until paramedics arrive and take over.
In the past 2 years, the Rotary Club has donated a total of 11 AEDs, so in an emergent situation, members of the public can provide immediate assistance.
Thanks to the Rotary Club's donation, New Taipei City's health department hopes to install more AEDs publicly to save lives.
Next, we meet mentally challenged student Ah Guo, who is currently staying at the Yangming Home for the Disabled. Thanks to the assistance of an occupational therapist and an ice cream shop owner, Ah Guo now is able to earn a living on his own.
This is Ah Guo, who is a mentally disabled student at the Yangming Home for the Disabled. 10 years ago, an ice cream shop owner offered him a job opportunity, and since then, Ah Guo has started planning his own future.
那你赚钱的时候会想要怎么用？
蛮烦的。
The manager of the ice cream shop has been caring and patient with Ah Guo and spent nearly 3 years teaching him how to clean up the shop, as well as educating his customers on how to get along with mentally challenged people.
Some customers have not interacted with the mentally disabled in the past and might be less patient. These kids have some abrupt behaviors, but they don't mean it. Our staff will explain their actions to our customers, but some customers will still feel frightened. It takes a long time to bridge that gap.
Other than cleaning, Ah Guo also waits on tables. Despite his small income, Ah Guo finds happiness in working.
Here, Ah Guo can gain a sense of achievement. He will feel more and more fulfilled.
Ah Guo's story exemplifies that with the right effort, even mentally disabled people can find a place where they prosper.
In Taiwan, a Tzu Chi Volunteers Intensive Training Seminar was held from May 29th to June 1st. 93 Tzu Chi volunteers from around the United States returned to Hualien, where they shared their experiences as volunteers with their counterparts.
Here in Hualien, 93 Tzu Chi volunteers from around the United States have returned to their spiritual homeland to attend a Tzu Chi Volunteers Intensive Training Seminar, where they exchange their experiences as volunteers with their counterparts.
Master Zheng Yan says one gives birth to all the innumerable and immeasurable things. Though I'm the only New York Tzu Chi volunteer coming back here, our team back in New York has immeasurable power.
The collective efforts of Tzu Chi volunteers in San Francisco have been gradually bearing fruit. Through home visitations and circulation of flyers, Tzu Chi volunteers successfully attracted over 120 local residents to attend this year's Buddha Day ceremony, a record high.
The Master teaches us the Dharma, but we didn't practice it in the right way. I have learned that we really need to study it more attentively.
Coming back to their spiritual homeland, these volunteers also attended a meeting with Master Zheng Yan.
在有形的距离是很远但是呢，无形的心里应该都是很贴心，希望是大家自己要启发。你们在当地应该呢，要让他做一个福地的人，那启发人可以造福，你国家我都通改变。
At the training seminar, these volunteers seized the opportunity to learn more of the Buddha's teachings and promised to continue to motivate more residents to walk the Tzu Chi path back home.
We go to the United States at the end of the show, where St. Demas Tzu Chi volunteers join the Relay for Life event held by the American Cancer Society. During the event, volunteers not only showed their support, but also encouraged cancer patients to face their sickness with courage. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.